Alright, hello, and welcome to another Screwy video. Now admittedly, I am relatively new to Tex Avery's MGM cartoons. I didn't really watch many of them when I was young, but of course I am familiar with his work at Warner's. He is well known for his wacky and fast-paced shorts, but also for directing the official debut of Bugs Bunny in 1940's A Wild Hare. And let's not forget his trademark travelogue shorts, which were often filled with puns and dad jokes, and occasional saucy content. He would always try and push the boundaries of what he could get away with, eventually leaving Warner's in 1941 after a disagreement with the then producer Leon Schlesinger about how the Heckling Hare, a short Tex was directing, should have ended. It's not exactly known what happened, but it did lead to Tex moving to MGM, where he went on to create some of his funniest and best work, creating iconic characters like Droopy and Red Hot Riding Hood. But there was a certain squirrel that starred in 5 shorts which I'm going to look at today. I'll take a look at each short individually, give my thoughts, and try and work out what led to Tex hating the character, and no longer wanting to use him after 5 films.
Don't worry, I'll catch you, I'll catch you. Too bad. Just missed him.
We begin with 1944's Screwball Squirrel, released on April 1st. I'm wondering if that was intentional, as part of an April Fool's joke. As we find out, Screwy is one of the biggest trickster characters in the cartoon universe. You can tell that Tex really did not like the cutesy style of cartoons, which were very prominent during the 1930s and early 40s, with him using Screwy to dispatch of Sammy Squirrel. If Tex hated Screwy, imagine if he is forced to make more Sammy Squirrel shorts instead. He would have blown his lid.
My cartoon would have been cuter.
Oh, brother, not that.
In typical Tex style, he breaks the fourth wall throughout the short, with Screwy talking to the audience, even at one point looking at the next scene to remind himself of how it goes. Once the short starts properly, it's a fast-paced Tex Avery masterclass, with joke after joke. If you missed one or didn't find one funny, then there's another one coming along in just a few seconds.
I think this belongs to you, meathead.
In the end, it wasn't even really important who you're rooting for. Screwy is arguably the villain of the short, with him just wanting to torture the dog for no reason. But it doesn't really detract from the viewing experience. It's a cartoon world, anything is possible, and there's no limits to what Screwy will do. So many jokes play with your expectations, and it's rarely obvious or telegraphed exactly what's going to happen. Screwball Squirrel, for me, gets a 9 out of 10, and I'm excited to see what else this little orange maniac has in store.
You don't say. You don't say.
Who was it?
He didn't say.
Up next we have Happy Go Nutty, released in 1944. Thankfully for fans of the first Screwy short, there was not a long wait at all for the second one. In fact, out of 4 MGM shorts directed by Tex Avery in 1944, 3 of them would be Screwy Squirrel cartoons, the outlier being Batty Baseball. Maybe the oversaturation of Screwy and doing them so quickly in succession is what led to Tex not wanting to do any more of them. Although of course at this time his contemporaries at MGM, Hanna-Barbera, were only doing Tom and Jerry shorts exclusively. Happy Go Nutty really leans into Screwy being absolutely insane, with him escaping an insane asylum, which was unfortunately much more like a prison back when this short was produced. Thankfully, mental health is taken a lot more seriously though these days.
Now I got you.
Hello. Hello.
No, wait a minute.
Just like in the first short, it's again Screwy who antagonises Meathead the dog into chasing him. Screwy must really love to be chased. He has so much confidence that he'll easily outwit the dumb dog, which in fairness he does do. Although maybe not quite as fast paced as Screwball Squirrel, we see another plethora of fantastic jokes. Although one kinda confused me, which was the Coca-Cola Cola scene. Was it a commentary on product placement in movies? Or an excuse to get the characters to say the word burp rather than actually burp, which was against the Hays Code at the time. So was Tex just trying to be cheeky and show a middle finger to the censors?
Beep. Burp.
Again, sometimes Tex is just so random you just go along with it, and this short is no exception. I mean, it even just ends abruptly because the characters run into the ending title card. This one again is fantastic, funny, but maybe not quite at the same level as Screwball Squirrel, so I'm gonna give it an 8.5 out of 10. Up next we have Big Heel Watha, which strangely has an alternate title, Buck of the Month. Again released in 1944, with a title like that though, you know there's going to be some Native American stereotypes that have not aged well, but again, this was very normal for the time. The framing device for this short is about a tribe having a meat shortage. Of course, this short was produced during World War II, where meat was rationed. It was very common to see cartoons make this kind of joke. In fact, Tex directed What's Buzzin' Buzzard in 1943, which has a lot of commentary on meat rationing and meatless Tuesdays.
Hey, Joe, when's the last time you ate?
Are you kidding?
It does take over half the short for Screwy to actually make his appearance, which has slightly changed, with him now having a gold tooth along with a white tooth, rather than his usual 2 white buck teeth. Unlike his previous shorts, he doesn't antagonise his hunter first. We see much more of a Bugs Bunny type scenario, where he is the one being hunted and therefore seeks revenge. It doesn't then take long for crazy shenanigans to happen. The native hunter's voice sounds a little bit similar to Droopy's, who at this point had only appeared in one short.
You know, I'm so mad I could scream. And I will too. Whee! There.
Once things do get going, it is a bit hit and miss. Some jokes work really well, and others don't quite hit at the same rate. With jokes I've seen done so many times in previous shorts, particularly Air Raid Warden jokes, it feels like also too much time was spent on the build-up of the cartoon, and on an ending joke that just isn't that funny. The idea being the winner gets to be with the chief's daughter, who is revealed to be super ugly, oh no! Only for it to be a mask that Screwy put on her. However, there's enough going on in this short that made me laugh out loud, so I do still enjoy it. It gets a 7 out of 10. Up next is the Screwy Truant from 1945. I feel like Tex really was not a fan of rules, so it doesn't surprise me that the truant officer is portrayed as the evil bad guy. It does see a return of Meathead the dog in that role, just with a palette swap. Of course, Screwy wants to bunk off school because it's such a nice day, so he can go fishing. Reminds me of someone who I went to school with actually, although they almost never really went to school, despite them living literally just up the road. It is revealed in the end of the short that Screwy did actually have a valid reason why he did not want to go to school, as he had the measles, which he does give to poor old Meathead. Tex's cartoons usually don't apply the rules of logic, and that's what makes them fun. You can never really tell what's going to happen next. The 500 yards of funny squirrel tail is just brilliant. We even see a fourth wall break where Wolf and Red Riding Hood from a future short at the time, Swing Shift Cinderella, burst into the picture. This would be one of Tex's favourite jokes, either talking to the audience directly or messing with expectations. I mean, this is quite possibly the most bizarre plot of any of the Screwy Squirrel shorts, with it even then going into a full-on Red Riding Hood parody out of nowhere. Again, prioritising making jokes rather than caring too much about how the story is unfolding.
Wire hair, setter, Spitz, and Bloodhound.
One thing I noticed is they have toned down the usage of Screwy's iconic laugh. Again, it could be perceived as quite an annoying laugh though. This short is non-stop mayhem from start to finish, and I'm all here for it. Tex is throwing everything at this short, even the kitchen sink. It's a 9 out of 10.
Hello, George.
And finally we have Lonesome Lenny from 1946, the final Screwy Squirrel short. This time Screwy is for sale in a pet store, which has a wide variety of animals, such as a Spitz dog, multiplying rabbits, and even a wolf that closely resembles a classic Tex Avery style wolf. Of Mice and Men was a popular book and film at the time. I'm not sure if anyone else had to also read it in school, but I do certainly remember having to do so. You can tell Tex was maybe a fan, as he loved to do parodies of the Lenny character specifically. He wasn't the only one, of course. There's many cartoons from this time where you see similar Lenny type characters, such as 1961's The Abominable Snow Rabbit and 1953's Cat Tales for Two. Lenny the dog in this short is a change of pace from Meathead. He's actually voiced by Tex Avery himself, who would often do voice work for his own cartoons, while Screwy throughout his run was voiced by Wally Mayer.
Oh, isn't he a darling?
Again, it doesn't take too long for it to go into absolute chaos, with Screwy wanting to escape from the overly friendly Lenny, who just wants to hold him and pet him just like the wabbits. There's even time during all this chaos for a quick lunch break. It's another brilliant short, it's just so funny. We do end up getting a sad ending though for poor old Screwy, with Lenny underestimating his strength and accidentally killing him, which I feel like was Tex wanting to kill off the character completely, as he had grown to absolutely despise him. Still, it's a solid 8 out of 10. So there we go. That was all 5 of Screwy Squirrel's cartoons. A short-lived character, but he was around during possibly the peak of Tex Avery's work. I mean, the cartoons he was creating around this time were all so good. Maybe if Screwy was around longer, we'd all grown to dislike him just as much as Tex did. He's a character better done in small amounts. There is never really a fall in quality like with other big characters. Even his weakest cartoon was still a 7 out of 10. What did you think about Screwy? Was he annoying? Did he have more potential? Let me know in the comments. But for now, take care and leave me alone.